I was on the middle of a phone consult last week and I realized how much I say repeatedly, edit, 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 take things down, bigger is less. All these things I repeat quite a bit because it's my mantra, because I believe it really will help you love where you live. But it dawned on me, I wasn't saying how exactly you do that. And I was giving this advice to a client. I thought I got to cover this because this is like when my boys were little and they were probably too little and I was like, clean up that room. And they're like, I don't even, like what, how do I start? I don't know what to do. I'm just little. Same idea. We tell ourselves, organize that room. Like what? How do I do it? Or do you have any tips to help me? That's what this is about. So I'm going to throw out this disclaimer to say this is not about sentimental items. This is not about losing a loved one. That whole topic I'd love to cover in its own video because that is difficult. This is difficult in its own way because it's about too much stuff. America, we have too much stuff. Our houses have too much stuff. Our beautiful houses have too much stuff. Our not so great houses have too much stuff. Our regular mediocre, it's just, we bring in stuff every day and you got to keep up on it. But then there's the other things we have in our house, we're trying to make them look pretty. And that's a lot of stuff. And then you get hand-me-downs from somebody and that's stuff. And pretty soon, eventually, your house is filled. And it's not filled necessarily with stuff you love. That's what I want to address. Number one big thing on the how-to is schedule it. There is no way a little short afternoon and throwing away some extra pens and pencils or cleaning out a junk drawer is going to make you love it. Treat it like a really important thing. All right, Thursday the whatever, I am scheduling this and I'm going to, or maybe it's my husband and I or my wife and I are going to schedule it on this certain day and we're going to attack this whole thing together. Then you'll start getting stuff done, but you got to schedule it. Make a plan. The next one is have the right stuff available. This is a beautiful thing that I go back to in my head. High school when it was clean out your locker day. I loved who knows what my locker was like? I don't even know. But they'd bring those big round garbage cans, those big outdoor garbage cans, set them in the hallway, and people were just cleaning out like crazy. There's something to a large garbage can that makes you feel like you can add to it. A little tiny bathroom garbage can isn't going to do it when you're throwing away one thing. That's not what this is about. This is looking at things and seeing things as there's some garbage, and then there's going to be some that you're going to either give away to somebody or Goodwill. However you want to do it. Garage sales even sometimes. I used to love to do that up north, but if we're kind of doing mass getting rid of, there's a way to do this. Garbage cans, number one. Number two is a big, huge Tupperware or Rubbermaid container. And I'm talking big. The one I have is like the size of a big bench. It's pretty big. When you do it like that and you set it in the middle of the room and you start adding to it, what I find is I look in that bin and I go, yeah, I really didn't want that stuff anyway. And it becomes kind of the bin of your like, ooh, that's the bad bin. I really didn't want that. And as I see it sitting in there, I'm not dying to pull it out. Once you start grouping it with things that you weren't that in love with anyway, or it's dated, or it's time to go. So that big bin is super helpful in what you're going to do. The next thing is, oh, Pam, where should I start? What should I start? Should I start with my closet first? No. Should I start with a big junk drawer that's so junky? No. Some people go, oh, just start with a drawer. I disagree. My tip is start with a really easy room. Some of you have dining rooms. Some of you have living rooms. These rooms that already don't have a whole lot of stuff in it, I want to see you have success right away. And the way you could do that is, and when I was talking with my client last week, we just picked one room, but dining room is what we picked. And she was getting her house ready to sell. And so these are also real estate tips. I'm telling you, getting your house ready to sell is kind of similar to getting your house ready to just love it for yourself. So I looked at what was in there, and there's obviously table and chairs, but then there was a runner, and there was extra things, and there was a buffet with things on it, and then there's pictures leaning against a wall, and then there was a mirror, and there was some stuff above an area, and then there was stuff in between two door frames with hanging stuff. I approach this is my best tip I can give. I approach this like I said I approach my desk. When I'm working during the day, or if I'm here during the day, and I have all this work I'm doing on my desk, and it looks like a mess, I tend to get everything, and I got paint swatches, and I have all this stuff around. I take everything off, everything. And I'm talking, I clean the desk off where it's nothing, just a desk. I take the lamp down, I take the colored pencils off, all of that. And then my desk is the kind of desk where I can actually use 409 on it. I clean it. I clean it off, this white shiny material. I clean it off, get the whole thing done, and I put back what I know for sure. Now think about this with your dining room or your living room. I'm not saying take out the furniture, I'm saying just all the pieces are involved, right? So now I put back the colored pencils, I put back the plants, the lamp. Already things are looking great. I can keep going. I can keep going, right? So my schedule book, I get it all set, my computer, my little thing, my mouse thing. And then I kind of go, all right, now I've got papers to go through. Now I've got folders to go through. Now I've got paint swatches to put away. But with my desk clean, it gives me success that I know I can do that as well. Now that's where you want to be sitting in front of, whether it's a garbage can and you're like, some of this is junk mail, some of this is stuff I don't need, some of these old receipts I don't need to throw it away. Whatever that is being handled all in one area. So you're not traipsing through the house and, oh, this belongs here, whatever. If there are pieces and things that go in other rooms, just group them together. Don't waste time, which is my next point. Well, I'll end on the dining room thing. So when you put the stuff back, you're putting back bigger and less. Just bigger and less. We have too much stuff on our walls even. Well, that's always been hanging there. Well, that was his high school picture, so that's just going to hang there. And that's where, and I'm like, think differently. Think less. Let's just put up a big mirror and be done with it. Also a good real estate tip. Things above here, things above here. Does it look cluttery or organized? Some of these organized kind of collage walls, those might be more interesting if they're really organized. But the stuff all over, everything doesn't need to be filled. Oh, it's a mirror, it has to be a sconce. It has to be, scrolly thing on the wall. It does not. No, clean it up visually. You'll be happier. The next thing I was just about to address is time. This is super big. It is very easy, because I'm giving you an easy room now. But think about when we're going to go into some other areas and other rooms, and I will do a couple different parts on this topic. Set a timer. What? Pam set a timer? It is amazing how all of a sudden, this happened to me a couple weeks ago, and I started looking through some old schoolwork of a kid, and I was doing this, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh, look what time it is. And I was not staying on task. You gotta just keep going. It's really hard because some of it is fun. Some of it is fun and think old memories and stuff, but some of it is like, you gotta keep going or you're never gonna get to the next thing or the next room. So this is just one room I'm talking about. And you don't hit a lot of that stuff in the dining room, but you get my point. The huge thing in closure on this to me is when that bin fills up, the Tupperware thing, haul it off that day. Why, Pam? Why are you saying that? Because a lot of times what we do is we put it aside and it sits either in our garage or a back hallway or somewhere. I'll deal with that later. I'll deal with that later. When it goes, it goes. And it will be more accomplishing and better for this project because you don't stop and have to think about it. You just don't. Most chances you're not going to use it again. If you didn't love it in the first place, it goes. But deliver it that day. And that's the huge check mark off your list. You have handled it, you've done one room, it looks great, you see it looks great. Put a big fresh thing of flowers or put like a fake plant that looks super real right in the middle of the table and you'll feel accomplished. So that is part one of today. And we got to address this because I feel in a lot of my phone consults we've been addressing this lately and it's advice I like for myself. I hope you do as well because we have to handle this with our homes. We don't need to shop and buy more stuff. And the bottom line point on this is holidays are coming and guess what? More stuff comes in your house and more bins get undone with decorating and all that. You want to be clean and ready. And you will love where you live, I swear. So, have a great Monday, and we're back at it tomorrow with some pool stuff.